Yo, what's up, good people? Y'all know what time it is. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. And you have the super team of sports talk here with y'all on one half of it. Diego Barishnikov, the black Dominican Russian. Here checking in with my main man, my partner in crime. They call him the 6 foot and under post-up jab. Tell them who you are.
What's good people? It's your boy Uncle Hate, broadcasting live on a Thursday this go-round. It's been a long week, people. I don't have pump fakes for y'all. I got his fadeaways. But I'm here. What's good for you?
Hey man, y'all know how we do it. We appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, those of you guys that watch us on the YouTube channel, continue to do that. Watch, like, hit that subscribe button, hit a thumbs up, leave us some comments there as well. And those of our audio listeners, on the go listeners, continue to check us out on Spreaker. And as you all know, now we're up on the iTunes platform as well.
Yes, sir.
So make sure you get those episodes, download, subscribe on all those platforms for us, plural, excuse me. And we would definitely appreciate that. We got a lot to get to tonight, people. We got the last of our division breakdowns, and we saved our divisions, our respective team divisions for last. So we got the NFC West that we'll be going over in the best, or one of the best divisions in the game in football. The NFC South will be hitting that up tonight as well. So we got a lot of things to cover. A few other NFL headlines and things, but as always, y'all know how we do it, how we get started in the club, free before 10 with y'all broke asses. It's open bar.
Yes, sir.
And always doing open bar, we like to hit y'all with something like the news.
Yes, sir. We're going to start it off. I got number L's this week. It wasn't a good week for the wins. I think I got one W this entire week.
Uh-oh.
But we're going to get it going. We're going to give an L to the city of Chicago. It was 58 people shot over a 3-day period, dog. 6 died. 58 people shot over 3 days.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Y'all got to do better. I'm going to leave that at that. This next L goes out to Michael Hatton because he killed Tony Lundy. Michael Hatton's 44. Tony Lundy's 47. I'm going to tell you what they was arguing about, big dog. They was in a barbershop arguing over Halle Berry playing Aretha Franklin in a biopic. I don't know which side Michael Hatton fell on, but he didn't like what Tony Lundy had to say. So we offed him. Dog. Seriously.
Wow. Yeah, I saw this story. I didn't know the name, so I'm glad you had the names ready. But yeah, that shit was crazy. And I think both of them ended up getting transported to the hospital to get their injuries treated. I want to know what kind of injuries the guy had that got shot. I mean, that did the shooting. He had to go to the hospital too. Like, what the fuck? You had the gun. How did that? What happened? Did he get his ass beat? That's why he pulled out the gun?
Bruh, did he power up with a bullet in him and still put that work in?
Hey, there's some missing details there. I need to see if we can figure those out.
Brothers, y'all gotta do better.
Yeah, and I did a fact check on that because I had that same story. So come to find out, what was the dude's name?
Michael Hatton did the shooting. Tony Lundy caught the hot one.
Okay, but they didn't say which one was arguing which side.
They didn't say which side each was on. Now, Whoever was on the side against Halle Berry, I agree, but it ain't worth shooting somebody over.
Right. So, because I read an article and they said that what happened was Aretha Franklin, she wanted Halle Berry to play that role, but Halle declined it, saying she couldn't sing and she wouldn't do the role any justice.
That should be Jennifer Hudson all day.
Jennifer Hudson is actually the person that ended up playing the role.
Yeah, that's a goal, but shooting somebody over that, I mean, in the barbershop, that's what y'all arguing over?
Hey, man, you know how shit goes in the barbershop. We just seen shit happen over Madden games, over pool.
I guess I look at that different than arguing over an actress playing a role.
I mean, it's all mundane, simple shit at the end of the day. That's what I'm saying. I said that to say anything could pop off at the barbershop at any time.
You 100 on that. All right, my next
Pit bull puppies can be sold. Anything.
my next L goes out to University High School in Orange City, Florida. First day of school, people. A young lady, they didn't release her name, was 15 cents short on her lunch, but they didn't feed her. The lunch lady took the tray, threw the food away in the young lady's face. Over 15 goddamn cents.
She need her ass whooped.
She need her ass whooped. Shout out to that boy Tip T.I. He came out and said he would pay that girl's lunch for a year. 15 cents. They wouldn't let that young girl eat. Do better, people. Do better. All right. I'm going to keep these L's going. This one goes out to Terry Wallace, Matthew Brubaker, and Mark Masinikoff. These young men were videotaping themselves having sex with animals.
Okay.
We'll sucker shit. We'll leave that at that. Animals?
Yeah. That's how they got charged with like over 1,400 counts of animal cruelty. 1,400 counts, dog. They had all kind of shit on that farm.
I swear I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say this, but is there a Me Too for animals?
Yeah, can the animals speak out? Yeah, you're an asshole with that one, cuz. I don't mean to be a jerk, but.
All right, my last one. My last L. Well, I'm going to go and get this W. I ain't going to do no more L's. Kay Longstaff. This young lady was 46 years old and fell off a cruise ship. She was arguing with her homie. Fell off a cruise ship and survived 10 hours. Floating and singing to keep herself awake. Every time I go on a cruise, I be thinking, man, they'd be so fucked up if I fell off this boat.
Because it's a wrap if you fall in most cases. Because
she survived 10 hours, B.
They must have knew immediately that she fell off. Because a lot of them cases, people don't even realize that somebody didn't fall off the boat until hours later. Yeah.
Hey.
Only chance you got at survival. Well, they couldn't have known right away because 10 hours is still a good amount of time.
Yeah. Tough shit, man. But shout out to her. She survived.
Hey, that's mental fortitude right there.
Got that right. Well,
I don't do large bodies of water well.
Nah. You know how dark it is on the deck of a cruise ship? You can't see nothing. I mean, nothing.
Yep.
And she survived 10 hours in that.
In the ocean.
All right, that's all I got, big dog. What you got?
All right. I got one little sideways story here. You already covered a couple of them. The over in Selma, Alabama, 77-year-old John Lewis Carver was convicted this week of first-degree domestic violence.
Oh, Lord.
Not against his wife.
Uh-oh.
Against his son.
He's 77. His son got to be grown.
In his 50s, right? Domestic violence charge. He shot the son. They was arguing over chicken wings while watching the Super Bowl in 2016. And that was the Super Bowl. That was Falcons. That was Falcons Patriots, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So the wife tried to get in between them. I don't know what was going on. These must have been some fire ass wings. She couldn't break up the argument. It popped off. Senior shot Junior. Now, Junior didn't die. He went to the hospital or whatever. But crazy shit, man. Crazy shit.
Hey,
now he's looking at 20 years at 77 years old.
Now that's some sucker shit though, because you remember that Akeem Talib story where he was like, his mama shot his uncle through the door, and then grandmama said when the folks got there, don't nobody say nothing.
I can definitely see that happening in the Talib household. I can definitely see that happen. Definitely see that happen. Outside of that, nothing else crazy going on that I had today. So.
Well, we got work, so it's cool.
Let's get it in.
You ready? All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to these rapid fire tidbits.
All right, we're gonna start off with these few tidbits, but we're gonna start off.
You hear that, did you? That sounded like a pop gun right there.
I heard you though.
We gotta do better than that. That sounds like some damn Rambo shit right there. I'm just gonna chill with sound effects. Let's go.
All right. I'm going to start this off with a serious question. Real serious question. Who has more left in the tank? AP or my quarterback, Driscoll Ferrari?
I got more gas in my gas tank in my car than both of them combined. and I'm rolling on 87. It ain't even premium. Because AP is like how 33, 34?
Somewhere around there.
He was cut. Now, this is the thing. Now, he may have something left. He may do another whatever year that was when he came back from the ACL and surprised everybody.
Like 5 years
1,000 yards. But I'm looking at it. I think he's averaged 3, maybe 3.5, 3.5 yards a carry over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Cardinals got rid of him when David Johnson ain't played in a year, and they have who they have to back up David Johnson?
Nah, they got rid of both of their backs. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But as far as Driscoll Ferrari, it kind of tied in the Driscoll Ferrari because AP is kind of. You remember we used to go hoop. Driscoll had 5 minutes of post moves.
Hard 5
minutes.
Yeah, hard 5 minutes.
That's all AP got. That's all he got. If Washington, and they said they're gonna play him extensively tomorrow against Denver.
Yeah, they want to. I'm sure that's to see what he has. He talking about he plan on starting week 1. Okay, we gonna see about that, AP.
I mean, against what they got on that team. I mean,
is Rob Kelly hurt? Oh, he not hurt right now, is he?
Rob Kelly's there, but
damn,
they drafted Dice to be better than him. P. Ryan's hurt. Chris Thompson's third down, so I mean he should start at this point. But,
yeah, so I mean it should be a good opportunity for AP. If he has anything left, he'll be able to be productive on this team. Washington's running back situation over the last several years has been less than desirable.
Absolutely, they need to look at that Dwayne Wade thing. What once good every 3-4 days, so that's like once a week maybe.
Hey, that ain't gonna work. If he good every 4 games, that ain't gonna work in a 16-game season.
Hell no, it won't. All right, good people. Urban Meyer called a 3-game suspension. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, he said he told them folks what was going on. The young lady said he didn't tell them. He'll be back in time to whoop Michigan's ass. Them 3 games that he's out, they'll probably put up 45 to 50. So
I mean, I think the games he's missing is what? Oregon State, Rutgers. TCU at TCU. I don't know. Well, TCU's the home team. I don't know if it's a neutral site game or not. That could be a little bit of a tough game, but probably I don't know how TCU is, how good they're going to be this year.
Right.
But at the end of the day, slap on the wrist. I was so kind of numb to this whole story because you kind of – and at first I was like, oh, this might not be good for him. Then the next couple of days you started to hear stuff. And you're like, okay, they're already setting it up to save it. He's not going anywhere.
It was that LaShawn McCoy type thing. Like, when that first happened, you was like, oh, shit.
Right.
And when the details came out, you was like, not really.
And the real sad situation about it all is the fact that it became all about Urban Meyer and Ohio State football and not really anything about the victim.
No.
I think that's the disservice in it all, if anything. But I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. Just like at the end of the day, certain talented players went out when they get into trouble and get into certain situations. Same thing with these coaches. Had that been anybody else, we know what would have happened.
Urban has shown that he takes chances on the talent, so I'm not surprised if his character is a bit to the left. It don't surprise me. So, whatever. He got the 3. I mean, we kind of talked about it. I mean, I'm not surprised. We can move on. We got a lot of work tonight. All right. Another week, another Ram gets a deal, and his last name is not Donald.
This is the right guard this week, right?
Yeah.
Somebody on the line, I think.
And he was in his rookie year. I mean, his rookie deal. So they could have franchised him if that were the case. Man.
Did they have a 5th year to exercise on him, or was he a later draft pick?
You know what? I think they had the 5th year to exercise. I want to say they did.
The long and short, they didn't have to give him.
Nah, it wasn't pressing.
Yeah, okay. All right, I didn't think so.
I'm confused, dog. I'm confused. You think this boy gets a deal before September 11th?
No. I don't.
All right. Well, we'll talk about him a little bit later on, but let's jump on in.
I think at the end of the day, the Rams' goal is to franchise that boy until they can't franchise him no more.
I should have pulled it up before the show what the tag number is for the defensive tackles. Because I would kind of like to know what he's looking at least next year. Because it will jump. Because if they're going to tag him 1 year, they're probably going to tag him the next 2 to 3 if they're going to.
Yeah, I don't know that because he is a defensive tackle, not an end. So
right, and that number's probably lower for a tackle than an end all day.
Right, I'm sure it is. So yeah, I think that's their goal the whole time.
Does he show up week 1? You think?
Probably not week 1. When did he show up last year?
I think he showed up like the Thursday before week 1 last year.
Okay.
He didn't play week 1, but he played week 2.
Who knows how long this goes on?
Hey, man. Y'all keep giving out this money.
I'm not mad.
I ain't mad at all. But we'll get into him actually now, really, because they 1 year.
That don't look good.
You ready?
Yeah. So before we jump into the division breakdowns, one last little tidbit. Well, let me add, have you had an opportunity to watch Hard Knocks yet?
I told you yesterday I was kind of nervous to watch it because I saw how Dez came in that building. It just turned me off.
All right, I'll let you watch it, and then we'll do that. So we got time these next 2 weeks to do all kind of news and stuff. We'll circle back around to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it this week. But
that'll actually give them a little bit more time to actually see whether they're gonna do anything with him or not. But
that shit turned me off. But yeah.
All right, let's get it.
The NFC West, the final standings as of last year, 2017. The Rams surprisingly went 11-5. Seattle went 9-7. The Arizona Cardinals, I'm still trying to figure out how in the hell they won 8 games last year, but they won 8. They went 8-8. And your 49ers came up at 6-10. This is an interesting division to me. Very interesting.
Right.
Because you know, you guys got that new car smell to you. Everybody's excited. You know, Jimmy G went 5-0 last year, beat some good teams, not some sucker teams.
Right.
Jared Goff, man, I did not see him being decent last year. He wasn't even decent last year. He was good last year.
Yeah, he was real good last year. That the Sean McVay effect turned out to be real. Because he looked
Seattle tore it down.
Yeah. The way I kind of see this division, to me, the Rams right now are the cream of the division. I think that we will be right around second. I think we should be challenging for second place in the division. I'm not gonna get too crazy with the expectations. I know it's a lot of hype, but we'll get to that record predictions and all of that. We'll get to that.
I'm not in love with Seattle. I agree with you. They got rid of that defense, basically. You got a lot of young cats. Jimmy Graham's gone. What's the other cat? Paul Richardson's gone. I'm not in love with it, but let's go on to these Rams. Let's start off with them. They went 10th in offense, 19th in defense, 9th in giveaway takeaway. Todd Gurley came alive for that team last year. But I think the thing this year is going to be tape. It's going to be tape. People going to know what to look for. Sammy Watkins is gone. You got Brandon Cooks coming in.
Yeah, see, but with Gurley, I think Gurley will still be fine. You remember his rookie year, he came in and was beasting. Then he had that down year. When Goff was garbage, and they had to get rid of Mr. 8-8, Jeff Fisher.
Nah, he's not my question. My question is the quarterback play. They got tape this year on Goff.
I mean, yeah, they've got some tape, but one thing he's got in his hip pocket is Gurley.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? When you got a running game like that, then that makes it better. You got a pretty good play caller there in Sean McVay. He's shown that from his time in Washington and last year being the guy.
Yes.
So I think offensive-wise they should be okay. If there are questions, they paid Brandon Cooks all that money. To me, he got 2 routes.
That's it. You might say 3. Go route, bubble screen, and maybe a slant, but you don't see a lot of slants.
Right. To me, if they won't give him that, to me, I would have kept Sammy Watkins because Sammy Watkins is a bigger guy, just as much speed.
Yeah.
That would have been me. They got Robert Woods still. I mean, he's solid. He don't really scare nobody
at all.
Aren't
him and Cooper Kupp almost the same player?
To me, Cooper Kupp is kind of in that Edelman, Cole Beasley.
But Woods ain't going deep.
I think Kupp is better in that slot area. And that's why I like him. I don't see him as a outside the numbers type guy.
Right. All right. Let's move on to these Seattle Seahawks.
Well, wait a minute. We can't. We got more to talk about the Rams. I mean, they spent all this money over the offseason. We talked about this defense.
Shit. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. That defense, they added Ndamukong Suh, Sam Shields, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib to that defense, and they were 19th last year. I'm surprised they were that bad against the run. They were 28th, but they were 28th against the run, and you throw a space eater dead in the middle of your defense, a space eater who's trying to get a bag next year because they only took a 1-year deal, right? Suh.
Right. To me, if I'm the Rams, I definitely got to get Aaron Donald on the field. Him and Suh in that middle.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, you ain't even got to have end rushers if you got them coming up the middle.
Exactly.
Who you gonna double?
Exactly. And a lot of people say, well, corner wise, you can get away with average corners if you can get to the quarterback with your front four and collapse the pocket continuously with your front four. You ain't got average corners. You got a Talib. You got a Marcus Peters on the corners. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get them collapsing that pocket and getting the pass rush quickly with 4 or 5 people tops,
so it's gonna
be hard to move the ball on them.
So you got an old wild animal and a young wild animal, and they both playing for the bag.
No. Now
it's gonna be a good defense, man.
It should be. Now, one thing that does concern me is sometimes we look at some of these teams on paper. The most
that Philly team years ago.
The Philly team years ago, even more recently, with the Patriots. Remember, the Patriots had that team on paper, and everybody was talking about they was going to be undefeated.
Shit, that was last year.
Was that last year? And then they came out the first couple of weeks and was getting beat.
Yeah, that was last year.
Kansas City beat the shit out of them week 1.
45 points.
Right. So, that on paper, especially in the National Football League, that don't really hold water a lot of the time. So we'll see how it goes. I was watching Team Boy TV last night. Shout out to the fellas over there. They were doing a NFC West breakdown, and we was talking about the new change, the new helmet rule changes, and all these rule changes. Everything going toward the offense now.
Right.
You got these monsters on defense, but are they going to be allowed to do their thing? And could these new rules hurt some of these aggressive guys like a Talib or Marcus Peters? If they're going to be racking up penalties, then it kind of offsets having aggressive players if they're going to be getting nitpicked over these new bullshit rules.
I guess a concern of mine with the Rams is the money. They still got to pay Goff, and that's got to be $100 million.
Give or take, yeah.
Give or take.
You got 2 years coming before he gets that?
It's soon because it was Gurley, but then they paid Gurley. So you got Aaron Donald now, Goff coming up. You got to pay Marcus Peters because he's in the last year of his rookie deal.
Yeah, they're gonna. You would like to think that their window is pretty wide open, but that money could make it close sooner than they wanted to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Maybe we'll get into that next week because we said we was going to talk about the windows.
Is it? Because a couple of them guys like Talib, I don't think Talib is there past this year.
If he does, it'll take a pay cut, like a real haircut.
It'll have to be.
Yeah,
it'll have to be. And he's getting up into his 30s too, right?
They franchised LaMarcus Joyner too, if I'm not mistaken. It safety or corner money. So
they franchise him and let Tremaine Johnson walk.
Right. So they got some decisions. Les Snead, I believe he's the GM in LA. You got some dope boy magic to pull because you got a lot of people to pay with not that much money.
Absolutely. So for you, Uncle Hay, tell the people what is the Biggest question that you have for this team this year. Biggest question is who has to step up.
Biggest question I would say is at what point are you going to pay Aaron Donald? Because you need him now, and if I'm he might sit out 10 weeks.
Him and Khalil Mack. I mean, we're gonna see once the season start. It's not coming across to me like they playing.
Nah, not at all. and you can't blame them. If they go out there right now, tear their ACL, the Rams will welcome him home at a 90% discount.
Yeah, at a reduced rate. You're absolutely right.
So, I mean, I don't blame him for sitting out. Player that needs to step up. I think the defense is going to do his thing. I think Todd Gurley is going to do his thing. If Jared Goff can do what he did last year with this defense,
yeah,
there's a chance.
He's a guy I think that needs to step up. There's Gurley's going to do his thing. They're receiving weapons. Cooks is what he is. Robert Woods is what he is. Cooper Kupp, hell, he may be more valuable than both of them two. Honestly,
I like Kupp.
He tends to move the chains a lot for them.
Yes.
So we'll see. To me, I just think the biggest question is this quote unquote super team that they have on paper, is it going to live up to the hype?
Yeah, because they're not sneaking up on nobody this year.
There you go. So, yeah.
And let me look at it real quick while we're talking about it. They were only 4-4 at home. Now on the road, they went 7-1. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I really don't.
Yeah, probably not 7-1 on the road. Let's take you can take a look at their schedule. Let's look at their first 6 games. I kind of like to take a look at all these teams' first 5 or 6 games and kind of see how they get out the gate. That kind of sets the tone for the season.
I tell you what you need to see.
Absolutely. So their first game, Monday night game, they're at Oakland. Then they have 3 straight home games against the Cardinals, the Chargers, and the Vikings. And then they got to go to Seattle and to Denver and then to the 49ers. So that is that's a pretty decent first half for the other schedule. A couple of those games could go either way. They should be.
If they go 4-2, but more likely I could see 3-3.
Who the 3 people they gonna lose to? You got them losing to what? The Chargers, Minnesota. I'm pretty sure.
Chargers, Minnesota, and that Seattle game up there, that could go either way.
It could. I just don't. We're gonna get to them in a second. I just don't see.
Yeah, I don't trust them, but
I see Seattle taking a big step back. I don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we've probably got a better chance to beat them at home. In the last of those games that I mentioned that Seattle does.
Oh, y'all play them hard, though, every year. Didn't y'all beat them last year in the Jimmy or no?
Yeah. I think we won 1 under. Yeah, 1-1.
Okay. All right, let's jump on into Seattle. Let's jump on in. Well, we've talked about it a lot over the last 3-4 months. It's the end of an era. The Legion of Boom is gone. Well, I guess I can't say they're gone because Earl is still lingering around.
He on payroll.
Yeah.
He ain't practicing, right? Yeah, he's still holding out, right?
Yeah. Earl's not there, but I mean he's on the team. This is Russell's team now.
Yeah, absolutely.
100% his team. And I don't know what he has on this team.
I mean, because we just talked about it with the Rams. The Rams need to look at Seattle right now because Seattle was a team that had all these high-priced defensive players and what have you.
Right.
They had a window there that seemed like it was never going to end.
Right.
They got one in there at the beginning, gift wrapped in elbow arrangement, a second Super Bowl to the Patriots for some reason. But we ain't going to talk about that tonight.
Right.
And then the window, it started to shrink because you can't continue to pay all those guys high top dollars. So now this is the after effect. This is after the storm. Earl Thomas, like you said, is the last dude hanging. Will he even be there much longer?
I don't get this shit. They said they're not going to give him an extension, but they don't want to trade him. I don't understand. And I know we said we weren't going to talk about it, but I'm going to throw this quick note in. I think if they would have won that second Super Bowl, band would still be together.
It's very possible. Now you look at Cam Chancellor.
Short of injury. I'm sorry. Short of injury.
He would be. Cam Chancellor would still probably be there if not for his neck situation. But like I said, the money at some point, even without animosity or what have you, the money at some point catches up. Because the NFL ain't like the NBA where you can just pay luxury tax and go over the cap. We got a hard cap.
Exactly.
So it's a different ball game. So at the end of the day, somebody would have had to go.
Absolutely. So you got Russell Wilson going into this year with they drafted Rashard Penny as the running back, but you got rid of Paul Richardson and Jimmy Graham, his number 2 and 3 wide receivers. And if I'm not mistaken, Doug Baldwin is hurt right now and not practicing.
Correct. And I don't has Brandon Marshall played? Is he on the team still? Do you get cut? I don't know what's up.
I swear I forgot about him.
What's crazy?
Ed Dixon there, and Ed Dixon can't catch a cold.
And what's crazy, we talk about Brandon Marshall, and we briefly mentioned Dez a few minutes ago. If the Cowboys cut Dez at a respectable time in the calendar year, he would have been a much better fit for Seattle than Brandon Marshall.
I'm not understanding why they won't bring him in now. Even right now, one of them can't play the slot.
Right.
Brandon Marshall is suited for the slot at this point in his career. So you can't have Doug Baldwin on the outside, Dez toward the middle, Marshall in the middle. Hey, if y'all seriously counting on Ed Dixon to be the tight end to get y'all some work, that's not gonna happen. It's not.
And I'm trying to think who else do they have receiver wise? They still banking on Tyler Lockett.
Dudes who get hurt.
Tyler
Lockett. Jermaine Kearse is gone.
Yeah, he was gone. He's in Jermaine Kearse is in Tennessee, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. They drafted
he in New York. He in New York.
They brought in the dude from the Cardinals, Jaron Brown, but he got hurt all the time. Man, you know what this is going to be this year again? It's going to be hike the ball, Russell pirouetting and running 15, 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage to make a play.
I'll say because the alcohol. From the things I've read so far coming out of their camp, the offensive line so far is playing a little bit better.
Well, they had 2 dudes hurt last year. They back, so they should be better. They should be.
Now that I say that, I want to say one of their tackles got hurt just the other day. But I'll double check that. Gotcha. But basically, that offensive line is going to have to play way better than they did last year in order to have any chance, because you already got question marks at running back, and if you ain't really got a superior talent at running back and you got a bullshit line, that's a recipe for a disaster.
I mean, and even when as bad as this shit is right now, if you think about it, because if they would have won that Cardinals game, they would have made the playoffs last year. They would have made the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I just don't have no faith in the situation. I just don't.
Nick Foles, what the fuck are you doing? My bad.
No, you good, homie. You good.
I think Tyrod Taylor broke his hand.
All right, Arizona Cardinals.
You heard me?
What's up?
I think Tyrod broke his hand.
Oh, so Baker won. Man, Tyrod. Well, he came out this week. He said his name is Tyrod. It's not Tyrod.
Yeah, I saw that one of the other players actually, ended up saying it. That he said people have been calling him Tyrod for so long, he just got tired of correcting people and said to hell with it. But yeah,
I can't flex. My name is kind of difficult, and folks be on that. I'll be like, yeah, exactly.
I all the time. All the time. So I understand it 100%.
I get it. All right, these Arizona Cardinals. It's hard for me to say much about them because I'm still trying to figure out how they won 8 games last year.
Maybe it was the defense.
8 games, though? Defense was that good? 8?
I mean, I don't know.
You got your screen pulled up. Can you tell me the W's?
Yeah, I can locate those.
But Carson Palmer's gone. Adrian Peterson's gone. Larry Fitzgerald is the only wide receiver of name on that team that I know of. They got
So they got rid of both the Brown boys, right? Jaron and
Jaron's
Gerard.
in Seattle. John's in Baltimore.
Right.
They brought in Bryce Butler from Dallas.
Bryce. Oh, wow. Okay, I remember him.
Yeah, he wasn't great, but and they got my defensive coordinator from the Carolina Panthers, Steve Wilkes, as their coach. This feels like a setup right here.
That's what I want to ask you about that. Because we always talking about head coordinators that ain't really head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
What's your feel on this one? You think he's going to be a pretty good head coach? Is this a good spot for him? It's like you said, it could be a setup.
It feels like a setup because he didn't have an established quarterback in place before he took the job. I don't know if I could take a job in the NFL without a quarterback. I really don't. If Sam Bradford, they were like, okay, we good, Steve. We got Sam. He's ready. His knees are right. I don't think I might have hung up the phone. Sam Bradford and his knees? No. But they got Josh Rosen. And I think Josh will be starting by week 6, give or take.
I say I give Sam Bradford 4 to 5 games before he's injured.
Yeah, so if Josh Rosen's right, you got a quarterback, but I don't like the weapons around. It's funny, folks talk about like Larry Fitzgerald is so old. He's like 33.
That's it? Yeah.
33, 34 at the most.
Yeah, he just been around. He's been around so long.
But they make it seem like he's like 40.
Yeah. He done been around a minute, but yeah, he ain't super, super old.
Nah, not at all. It's gonna be a year transition for this team. The Honey Badger's gone.
Yeah, they got the Carson Palmer is gone and all his injuries, and
Carson hasn't been right since we beat their ass in the NFC Championship game, and we sacked them like 15 times that game. He has not been right since.
All right, so I thought okay, so I pulled up their W's from last year.
Looking like, cuz? What they looking like?
All right, so they beat the Colts in overtime week 2.
They should have won that game. No luck.
All right. They beat us in overtime week 4.
Y'all had what's that dude's name? Who's y'all quarterback at that time? Beathard.
CJ Beathard.
Okay.
Nothing to write home about there. They beat the Bucks week 6.
Jameis was hurt, if I'm not mistaken, around that time.
No, nothing there. They beat us again week 9. They did beat the Savages. They beat the Tennessee Titans early December, and then they won their last 2 games of the year against the Giants in Seattle, where both of those teams had nothing to play for. So you end up beating some not so good teams and throwing a couple of wins at the end of the season where teams really were meddling in, and you come to 8-8.
So technically, they should be like 4-12.
Yeah, I would say 6-10 is somewhere around there, probably. Exactly.
I don't have much on this team. David Johnson's back. Now we talked about Aaron Donald holding out. David Johnson was like a 3rd round pick. I don't know if I take that field without that deal.
Well, I got to think with him not playing last year, he
that's right.
He's in a different situation. So they're gonna give him the ball. We talk about how many carries Le'Veon Bell gonna get in Pittsburgh this year. David Johnson gonna get a hell of a lot of them too, because we just talked about the lack of receiving options or known commodities at receiver there. Left Fitzgerald pretty much playing tight end because they don't have one.
Right.
What else is there? Who knows?
Nothing.
You got Sam Bradford, and then we expect Rosen to be playing at some point. You got Chandler Jones, leader in sacks. That's a bright spot. You still got Patrick Peterson. People expect the defense to still be pretty formidable. So if the defense can keep them in some games, maybe they can steal some things. Still a couple here or there.
6-10.
That's probably going to be about their ceiling.
All right, let's jump on into this first half of the main event. Let's talk about these San Francisco 49ers. I had a heel turn planned. I was going to go complete heel, but shit didn't work out. I've been busy this week. But I can't front, man. I can't front. Jimmy looked good last year. I'm going to tell you the game that got me. He beat the Savages. And they was, like, good at that time.
They were hot at the time. They were
hot. and he put that work on him. So, all right, this your show right now. This you. Tell me what I'm looking at. What you see?
All right, so we do finally have a quarterback. You don't have to buy into all of the hype with Jimmy Garoppolo, but know that he's better than the last couple of quarterbacks we had over the last few years. And you know you go nowhere in this league without a quarterback. So we again appreciate the New England Patriots, specifically Robert Kraft, for that gift wrap. We appreciate that.
You should give Tom Brady a shout out. Belichick wouldn't have made that trade if Tom Brady wouldn't have pissed him off.
Not at all. Not at all. Now I'll go ahead and get to the things that concerns me. The running back situation. I said this coming into camp because I felt that the running backs that we had, even though they had some skills, McKinnon, Breida, Joe Williams, they're all on the small side.
Yes, sir.
And as of right now, all three have been out for the last couple of weeks. McKinnon has a calf strain. He's not playing until week 1. Matt Breida has an injury. He's not playing until week 1. And Joe Williams has fractured ribs. So they're trying to determine now whether he is going to be put on IR, designated to return, be cut. Who knows?
That's 6 weeks right there.
That explains the Alfred Morris pickup.
Right.
Now, I really like that pickup because he's a bigger guy. He's shown that he can do some things in this league. He ain't but 28, 29, I think, still. He's been with Shanahan before they got history, so he knows the zone blocking scheme that he runs. He knows it. So I feel good about him making the team just based on that. The offensive line, my guard positions, I have a few questions about those. We drafted a couple of people and picked up a guy from Buffalo. I forget his name off the top of my head. Richburg. Brought him in to try to shore up the line. So I think we should hopefully be okay there. Receiver wise, I like what we got. I like what we got at receiver. Everything is pointing in the right direction, especially from where we've been the last couple of years.
Now, trending upwards all day. Did they ever just? I've been drinking, cuz forgive me. Did they settle on the games for Ruben? He got 2 or 4.
Oh yeah, he got 2 games. He got 2.
So that's a win.
Yeah, so definitely a win there. Talking about linebackers, we've got Malcolm Smith coming back. We talked, he used to play for Seattle on those championship teams. He was supposed to be a big piece of what we did last year, but he tore a pec before week 1, so he was out all last year. So
I read that Sherman's playing this weekend, right?
Sherman's going to play this weekend, so we're going to see what he got. I really can't say anything bad at this point. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, hoping to get through these last couple of preseason games without any more injuries because we got hit hard that first week or so.
Yeah, I did.
Just want to get to week 1 and be healthy, and let's get this show on the road and see what my boys can do. I'm expecting somewhere probably around 9-7.
Oh.
If we overachieve, then we can maybe get to 10 or 11 wins because a lot with us is going to be proven in the first half of this schedule.
What's your first 6? Let me hear that.
So, let's see. I know we got the Vikings to start off.
That's it.
We got them to start off. Then we got the Lions at home.
You can win that game. 2
road games against Kansas City and the Chargers. Looking to split those 2. Then we got the Cardinals at home. Got to go to Green Bay. The Rams at home, and then we go to the Cardinals. Kansas City a tough place to play.
But you don't know what you have in Mahomes though.
We don't. Chargers. We don't know which team you're gonna get from them each week. The Minnesota game and that defense, that's gonna be a tough one the first week. A lot of storylines there. You got the Kirk Cousins, storyline. He was supposed to be our guy, but then we got Jimmy, and then you got McKinnon coming back to Minnesota to play. I think we can go 9-7 at bare minimum.
All right, let's jump on into it. All right, who you got winning this division? If y'all 9-7, You giving LA 11 or 10 wins?
I haven't looked at their schedule, but I got them winning the division.
Okay.
I got them winning the division. So I think we can compete for a wild card. That's why I say 9-7. But it's going to be tough even to get in at 9-7. We're going to have to overachieve a little bit because the NFC is loaded. Yes, I don't think 9-7 will get you a playoff spot.
No, it won't.
Even a wild card, I think you got to be bare minimum 10-6. So I think we'll be right there in the hunt. If we can steal a couple of games early, I think we'll put ourselves in pretty good shape coming down the stretch.
Last question on this. Last question on your division and this team directly. How good do you think Jimmy's going to be this year?
When you say how good, as in?
Now, we know what he did last year, 5-0.
Right.
And that was with next to nothing. You're getting Garcon back. Kittle's going to be straight for the start of the season, right? He got hurt in that first preseason game.
Yeah, he'll be back week 1.
Okay.
I think we got a lot of, I ain't going to say like an overload of talent, but I think we got guys that play hard. And if you go back to last year, even, everybody looks at the 5 straight games that Jimmy won. We actually won another game before he actually started. And then out of our first 6 games after week 1, the next 5 games, we lost all 5 of those games by 3 points or less, 2 of them in overtime. So we were in the majority of our games last year. Right. Just the early part of the season, us being young and not having the plethora of talent.
Right.
We dropped a lot of those games early. So right. That's what I'm saying. I'm feeding off of that and thinking that we could just continue to go in the right direction. I don't think I answered the question that you asked me.
No, I think you did. You said that we were talking about
how good. You asked me how good can Jimmy be. I didn't really answer. I danced around it. I think he'll be pretty good. I think he'll be.
If you take those
25 touchdowns, somewhere between 13 and 15 picks. He had some problems still with trying to fit balls in tight windows that I don't really care for. And that leads to some interceptions. He had, I want to say, because people talk about the 5-0 record last year. They don't talk about the 7. It was either 7 or 8 picks that he threw. Now, maybe a third of those weren't his fault. Receivers bounce.
I don't believe tip balls should count as picks. But they do, so we got to count them.
And then saying some of those tip balls are from him trying to fit balls into spaces that maybe they shouldn't be fit into. Watching Brady for a while, you sit on the sideline and watch him do it all the time. Hell, I can do it too.
Nah, you 100 on that. I think he's going to be solid. I really think he's going to be. I can see, the energy around that team last year, I can see it happening. But that first 6, I don't know how we got into looking at the first 6 when we've been doing our previews, but that tells you a whole lot. That first 6 going to tell you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get out of the gates with a 16-game season. I don't care who you are. You can't start in behind the 8 ball. So if we can go 4-2, 3-3 bare minimum, them first 6 games, I think we'll be in good shape.
But if you 2-4 come Halloween, cancel Christmas.
It's a problem.
It's a wrap. All right, big dog. Let's jump on into this NFC South, my division.
Yes, sir.
This one here is interesting as well because it was tight. Them first 3 teams, it was tight last year.
This is
3 teams in the playoff.
This is a fun division. I'm kind of jealous that I ain't a part of this division. It's been tight the last how many years?
It alternates every year. A different team wins the division every year. So you can't guarantee who's going to win it. Now, I think y'all going to be there. If Josh Rosen does what I think he's going to do, then it'll be tight in that division just the same.
I got you.
So, it's quarterback play. And, I'm wearing this Carolina Panthers jersey, and my quarterback is an athlete, so I'll leave it at that. But the New Orleans Saints went 11-5 last year. We went 11-5, and the Falcons went 10-6. Boy, you Atlanta fans, I'm gonna give y'all some work tonight. Y'all act like y'all just went 2-12 last year. They went 10-6 and won a playoff game. And they act like the world fell in last year.
Because they survived the Super Bowl hangover. Most teams, the way that they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots in 2016, most teams don't come back that next year and follow up and play consistently like the Falcons did. They still played pretty good last year. Now, I think what the problem that Falcons fans are having is the offense did take a step back last year. But could you expect the Tecmo Bowl numbers that y'all were putting up in 2016 to continue?
What were they putting up that year? Like 35 a game?
It was crazy that year Matt Ryan won MVP. It was crazy the numbers that they were putting up. You couldn't expect to sustain that, but at the same time, yes, you expected more out of what you got, and yes, Sarkisian took a lot of the blame.
You can't blame him for everything, though.
You can't blame him for everything. You can't blame Matt for everything. Because at the end of the day, your receivers led the league, not your division, not the conference, but your league led the whole league in drops.
And they don't give no flack.
Dan Quinn gets no flack. We talk about Philly winning the Super Bowl. If Julio Jones catches that ball that goes through his hands at the end of the game in that playoff game, guess what?
He wouldn't have won.
Philly ain't winning no Super Bowl.
Now, I know that ball was high and he had to high point it.
Julio Jones
caught that ball, though.
Julio Jones is 6'8".
He should have caught that ball.
He's not literally 6'8", but he big as fuck. He should have caught that damn ball. Sorry. Playoff game?
Should have caught it. Should have caught it. All right, let's start off with these Saints. Okay, they were second in the league in offense last year, 17th in defense, 10th in giveaway takeaway. Did you imagine going into this year that they were going to turn this team over into a running team?
Coming into last year? No, I don't think anybody saw that.
Nobody saw it coming. I don't believe that Alvin Kamara is going to run wild on the league this year. I don't believe that. But, he could.
That was one of the surprises of why they was running a lot. Nobody, and then maybe because Kamara had that heat on Ingram, that made Ingram play better.
Hey, man,
I know what made Ingram play better.
Kamara's fast. The boy is fast as fuck. But I don't think – do you recall – well, I can't say that because I want to say Atlanta knocked him out of that game here.
They did.
That Thursday night.
They did.
He's still a smaller back. And when you square up on him and get a good lick on him, they don't normally get up.
Yeah. Yeah, now did they bring – now he's going to be handling the load while Ingram is on suspension for the first, 4 weeks, right?
They brought in Terrence West, which is a thumper, and I want to say another back.
He either got hurt or he gone. I saw his name on the headlines yesterday.
Oh,
let me verify.
Man, if they going to sit there and put a 215-pound back and going to give him the work, all the passing downs and running between the tackles, that ain't going to work well for Alvin Kamara. That's not.
No, but Sean Payton will adjust. Like I said, they're used to not really being a heavy run team. Last year, it was
basically a run for a back.
Yeah, last year was just something. It was just something we weren't used to them doing. So they could easily go back to doing that until Mark Ingram comes back off of suspension. But I'm expecting them to be right there in the hunt for winning the division again.
Absolutely, and their defense was solid last year.
Very, very, very solid. Very solid.
If you give Drew Brees a defense, people, he normally wins. A defense and a running game, he normally wins. That's kind of been what it was. Hell, they would have went to the NFC Championship had that young man from New Orleans just tapped.
Yeah, Aaron Williams.
All he had to do was tap him. And they would have made the NFC Championship. Now, I'm not sure anybody would have beat Philly up there in that cold-ass stadium coming out to dreams and nightmares. I don't believe anybody would have beat them. But, that was a solid season for them last year.
It's crazy how this game is a matter of inches because if Julio Jones catches that ball and Aaron Williams makes that tackle, we got a Saints-Falcons NFC title game, right?
In New Orleans, in a dome.
In New Orleans. That would have been crazy. And then who knows what we would have had after that? We could have had a Patriots-Falcons rematch in the Super Bowl. We could have had a Breeze-Brady Super Bowl.
And that's what I was leaning towards, Breeze-Brady. Because I still think if Breeze gets that second one, he's at that table with the best.
Oh, I'm sorry. What you say now?
Now I said if Breeze gets that second ring, he's at that table with the best because by the middle of this year, he's going to have the most yards career wise. But I think he's missing that second ring. If he gets that,
yeah. You think that's the only thing holding him back from that table? He can't.
He gonna have the individual numbers, but I think that I think that second one's gonna really look good on him. Really,
it will. I'm thinking. I guess I'm thinking about some people that may be at this table that don't have any hardware.
Well, who you think? Well, we about to get off track. Let's keep going.
I was about to say Marino.
We got time. We got time next week.
All right.
We got some shit. All right. They gotta be on the draft grade. Kenny Vaccaro's gone. Chase Daniels, he's gone. They're gonna be right there in the hunt. Let's jump on in. We'll do my team last. Let's jump on into these Falcons. We've been talking about them back and forth here. The one thing I say about the Falcons, we live here. We feel the vibe. We know what's what. People, if you remember, and you're 100 about it, that first year of Kyle Shanahan, y'all was complaining the same way. Get rid of him. The offense ain't doing shit. It kind of takes a year, it seems like, with Matt Ryan and a new OC.
Yeah, take a little bit of time.
Maybe they'll be good this year under Sark. Maybe.
Yeah, I like the addition of Calvin Ridley, what he and the extra dynamic he brings to the offense. I don't think they'll skip a beat there. They still got Coleman and Freeman. You know, the two-headed monster running the game, running the ball. If there's questions about this team, for me, it's on the other side of the ball. I think Vic Beasley needs to step up this year. He kind of had a down year last year. Some of that had to do with how they were playing him, but he needs to get back to double-digit sacks. He's got to. Now, they did not what could be a big problem for them, especially run defense. They let their defensive tackles go, and they did not address it.
Dontari Poe was on my team right now.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what they're doing with that.
Grady Jarrett's still small. I'm not hating, but he's still small. But Atlanta's going to be right there, and they got the ultimate motivation. The Super Bowl is at their house.
Exactly.
It's at your house.
Yeah. Of course, a lot have tried, and many all have failed. No one's ever played the Super Bowl in their home stadium, so they are hoping to be the first. But the percentages, we'll see. But they got a good chance. They're in the division. They're going to be fighting for the division. I don't think they're going to win the division. I'm giving that to the Saints. I think this will be did the Saints win it last year, or did y'all win it?
No, the Saints won it last year. We had the same record. They won it.
I think we'll have a rare back-to-back year where the same team wins the division. It'll be by maybe one game. It probably will come down to one of those last couple of games of the year. Because I think, don't y'all in the Saints play like 2 of the last 3 games?
We played them in the playoffs.
Huh?
We played them in the playoffs, and we played them that last couple weeks of the regular season.
No, I'm saying this year. The end of y'all schedule this year, because I know you were talking about it when the schedule dropped.
We do.
Y'all got to play them like 2 of the last 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That ain't fair.
No.
Well, life ain't fair, but
it's not.
that's crazy. Yeah, so it's going to be tight as always in this division. Nothing's a cakewalk. Only thing that's probably for certain is the Bucs bringing up the rear.
Yeah, we about to talk about them in a second. My last thing is it's another shot. I'm not convinced on Dan Quinn, people. I'm just not.
Hey, he was a great coordinator, right?
Don't he look like a strength and conditioning coach?
Yeah, he don't really look like a head coach, but I don't think he's bad. I just don't think that I think there's been some spots that he's missed some things on, and I also don't think that he is getting. No one's looking at him at all. No one's giving him any blame.
Absolutely.
So, after this year, if all doesn't go right, are you still gonna blame Matt Ryan? Are you still gonna blame Sark? At what point do you start giving your head coach some heat or having him take some responsibility for some of this shit?
Absolutely. All right, let's jump on into Tampa real quick. Tampa seems like the death row team. And when I say death row, I mean the coach is fired. I mean, he's done. Jameis is out the first 4 weeks. Jameis got to set the world on fire. We talked about this a few times.
Right.
Nick Foles on some bull. I still don't know who be the back.
What's that?
I still don't know who's going to be the running back. This just a bad look down there in Tampa. What year was that? Was that 2000 that the Bucks won the Super Bowl? 2003 maybe.
Was it somewhere around?
Baltimore won in 2000. I take that back. So 2003, somewhere around there. Yeah. So they have been in the wilderness for 15 years.
Not the wilderness.
15 years just lost, cuz. And I like Jameis. I like him. But cuz, he going to have to throw, in 12 games, he going to have to throw 40 touchdowns and under 10 picks. He going to have to.
I don't think Dirk Cutter is going to last to the end of the year. I think he'll be.
I need to pull up who's the OC. Because if they fire him, they got to have faith in the OC. But that's what they did to Lovey. And that shit didn't work out either.
Right. So, you got a lot of questions about this team. You got it all falls on Jameis. I mean, the defense has got to play better. They were supposed to be a better unit last year, and they just weren't.
Dog, if the offense is ninth, the defense can't be 32nd. That shit doesn't work.
Speaking of which, I think they were dead last in the league in sacks. So they did bring in JPP to try to help that cause.
22 sacks in 16 games.
Okay, I was going to say 26. It was only 22? Okay.
22.
Yeah. So, because I want to say they got rid of both their starting defensive ends from last year, and I want to say they had maybe 6 or 7 sacks combined.
Now, they brought in Vinny Curry and JPP, so.
You expect to get you expect to get better production out of your pass rush. You still got Gerald McCoy in the middle. And if y'all don't know about Gerald McCoy, he going to play hard.
He's going to play hard. But
he's going to play hard, but you got to have some shit around him. Yeah, he get dinged up a little bit.
Yeah.
But so we're going to see.
Yeah, it's only so much we can say about Tampa. Jameis, I really want Jameis to win. I really do. Maybe this 4 games he's sitting down will get his mind right. Maybe.
So I want Jameis to get his mind right.
That's all.
That's what I want Jameis to do. Both on and off the field.
That's it. Just get his mind right. All right, let's jump on into my Carolina Panthers. Shout out to my boy Robert Buck Scales. He made a comment to me. We was arguing one day on our personal chat. He said, Cam ain't good, but every other year. And you know what? He's right. And this seems like the other year.
It's the other year?
We're going 12-4. 12-4.
Ooh.
Win the division.
Throw
over 60%.
And he gonna throw over 60%?
Hell, he's at 59 now. That's a couple more dump offs, man. That shit right there is a fugazi ass stat.
It is
65%. Man, throw a couple 5-yard dump offs, you get your numbers up. That's it. I got a feeling this is gonna be the year that we go 12-4, and Cam finally goes over 60% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
Christian McCaffrey, I'm starting to come around, though. Am I drinking the Kool-Aid?
Coming around the what? Let me hear this.
He might be solid, man. You know, I was a little upset when we took him at 8 because I wanted Fournette to fall or for us to go up and get him.
Right.
Work out that way. But
when you say solid, I mean, yeah, I think he's solid. Now, we're not talking about it as no league 3-down back, are we?
I don't know, dog. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Okay. What from what you saw last year?
Nah, I'm thinking because he done put on some weight.
Oh, he did the gym this year? Yeah. He did the gym with Lonzo?
Yeah, he done put on some weight.
He on that muscle milk.
He drinking creatine. So.
Oh, man.
But I could be wrong. We're talking preseason, and the Dolphins do suck, but a 71-yard run looked good. I mean, he's going to get his work out the backfield catching the ball. If he can give us anything in between the tackles, I think we're going to be straight. But my main concern with my team this year, outside of Cam, my main concern, secondary. We have to stop somebody. We got a lot of young boys back there. We got rid of the young man who got arrested for like 8 charges. Now he's a Raider. I can't even remember his name. He wasn't that good for us. But these young boys got to step up. They got to. We got to get something out of Julius Peppers. But I'm thinking 12 wins. I mean, nobody saw us getting 11 last year.
37-year-old Julius Peppers.
I mean, it's situational. Hell, he ain't practicing now. Hey, man, Tom Brady got everybody thinking they can play till they 50.
No, I'm just saying if the 37-year-old Julius Peppers is in hey, this got to happen for us to do this. Hey, damn.
I'm reaching. Hell, I didn't expect 11 sacks from him last year.
Did he have 11?
He had 11 last year.
Okay.
10 or 11. I wasn't expecting.
Well,
but
even a slight decline or drop off season still gets you 7 or 8. So that's still pretty decent though. I can't shit on that. I can't shit on that at all. Let me ask you this before we get too far removed from the run game topic. What do you think C.J. Anderson gonna bring y'all? Is he in shape? That's always a question mark for me with him. He just always look a little round.
Okay, since we're being honest, why does all his weight seem to go to his head? Does he not have like the biggest, roundest head? That shit doesn't look like it's human. Just like a bowling ball sitting on his shoulders because he ain't got no neck. But as far as the running game,
never think of it that way.
Norv Turner gets something out of running backs. He gets something. Now he ain't gonna be the bell cow, but I believe he's gonna give us something. We're gonna have a solid run game. I believe we're gonna have that. Wide receivers, Funchess is playing for a contract. He's playing for a contract because he was a 3rd round pick, so they can't throw the 5th-year option on him. He's playing for that bread.
Right, and they showed a lot of confidence in him getting rid of Kelvin Benjamin.
Well, Kelvin Benjamin was 400 pounds and he's a hater. So,
well, true. But can Funchess step up and be a true number 1, or is he going to continue to be like more of a number 2, having to play disguised as a number 1?
You know what? I would rather have a situation like New England has, and well, I can't say that because I would say Gronk is their true number 1. But I just want a lot of good players. I don't have to have a number 1. Just if everybody's catching balls and contributing, I don't have to have a 1. How many Super Bowl winners have a legit number 1?
But no, you got to have a Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. You got to have somebody like that too.
That's true.
An accurate quarterback.
Yeah, and Cam ain't that, but he gonna complete 5 or 6 more dump offs this year to get that average up around 63.5, 64. Because that's all it has to be.
But we got to start breaking that number down on passes over 10 to 15 yards in that range. Let's
agree
and see what those percentages are. Like you said, anybody can dump off and do check downs.
You know, it came to my mind just now, dog. Did you see how bad Andrew Luck looked Monday?
Oh, the offensive line looked terrible.
It's the same thing, same situation. But I'm sorry, we were talking about completion percentage and that it took me to him. But nevertheless, Thomas Davis is suspended for 4 games. Luke Kuechly is always a hit away from being in that dark room.
Mm-hmm.
It could go either way.
Those are 2 leaders right there.
We can either be 12-4 or 7-9. It just really depends.
It could go either way. I feel you. So let's look at y'all first 6 to 8 games.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna go with my head and my heart too.
That don't sound confident.
I'm gonna go with my head now. I know we win in week 1. I know that.
Okay. I got the Cowboys at home.
We beating them.
Week 2 here in the ATL against the Falcons.
That's suspect. I'm gonna say we lose.
I'm gonna say that might be an L there. Then you got Cincinnati at home.
We're gonna win that game.
Oh,
put me on pause.
Oh man! All right,
we're gonna finish up. It seems like at the same.
Right, so no, don't say "oh God." We're gonna go over this schedule. Let's see. So your first game. Okay, so you got Dallas at home.
We're gonna win that game.
First game.
We're gonna beat Dakota.
You going to the Falcons? That might be
lose that one.
Then you got Cincinnati coming to your place. So you should be 2-1 right there. Now y'all got. I don't like the early bye. Y'all got a bye week 4.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, because then you got all the rest of the season, the whole season to go. So after your bye week, then the New York Giants come, and then you got 2 road games against Washington, against the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and then to round out November, you got the Ravens coming to town.
If we go 2-2 during that stretch, that means we'll be 4-1. If I'm not mistaken.
If you go 2-2 in that stretch and 2-1 in those 3 games before the bye,
okay,
then you'd be at 6-3.
Okay, that's a win. Because I'm thinking we're gonna beat the Giants.
No, I'm sorry, 4-3.
I can live with that because that Giants game is at home. The Redskins on the road. That's tough. I don't think we're going up to Philly to win, and I'm not sure we're gonna beat the Ravens at home. So we got to get the Giants and the Skins. We got to get those.
You also better beat Baltimore. I'm thinking. We'll see how they playing. We'll see how they playing at that time. I think y'all gonna need to get off to a little bit better start than 4-3 in order to win the division. Because you look at the last half of the schedule, you still got Philly on your schedule. You still got Seattle, even though we think they're gonna take a step back. Huh?
We play Philly in this stretch. You said we still got Philly.
I'm sorry, I meant Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, that Pittsburgh game.
You got Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. You got the Seahawks. You have the Saints twice.
What they were, though.
You got the Saints twice, and you have the Falcons still. So I'm thinking 4-3. You may want to get out to at least a 5-2 start. The way that back half looking.
Yeah, we I guess I'm looking at this Ravens thing, and I'm thinking like Ray Lewis is walking in the door. He's not. So that offense shouldn't scare us. So we should get that win.
I'm gonna say you said you're going 12-4, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That might have been the Smirnoff talking. But as far as with the Eagles, I mean, Carson Wentz probably ain't even playing that early on. That might be Nick Foles we playing against.
October 21st? No, he should be back by then.
What week would that be?
That's like week 3, 4, 5, 6. That's week 7. If he was ready by week 7, then he need to be on the pup list.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they might necessarily start him off on that. I mean, they kind of dancing around it now.
Yeah.
So if he starts off on that pup, that's 6 weeks. That would be his first game back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if he ends up on the pup list, then you got we're talking about a whole different ball game, right? And the way Nick Foles is playing tonight.
He looked like trash?
I've seen at least 2 picks, and I've only been watching back and forth. Tyrod Taylor did come back in the game, so he appears to be okay.
He's on borrowed time. We already know that. Keep your head up, Tyrod. Keep your head up.
Yeah.
But past that, I'm saying 12-4 because I'm being optimistic. We went 11-5 last year. I think we got better weapons on offense. There's no reason why we should not be better. Cam, you got to pull it together. And, you know, people ain't even talking about it. Cam's coming up on a deal in like a year or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Russell Wilson are right around the same time.
Yeah. I mean, they get their $100+ million, whatever.
Hey, I'm an optimist, but I'm also realistic. You give me another season 58, 59%. I don't know if I can put $100 million in your hand.
You getting rid of Cam Newton?
I don't know if I can put $100 million in his hand.
That's the market rate for quarterbacks.
Right, but
now when you're talking about overpaying, now you got to get into that 120, 125, 130 range. $100 million ain't shit for a quarterback.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, because by the time it comes around to his deal, Matt Ryan should be, 5 or 6?
Yeah, so $100 million is going to be middle of the pack.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm expecting a good year. I'm expecting North Turner to get that work in with him. So, you know, maybe I'm wrong with that. DJ Moore, slow your ass down, homeboy.
Was it 113, 119?
You know, he's a youngin'. He doesn't recall, but I'm gonna go old school with y'all. Bobby Fields used to play for the Charlotte Hornets. He was driving a Porsche really fast and died, killed himself. Yeah. So it's not worth it, y'all. Slow down.
It's not only slow down. Why are you? You know what? I'm not going. I'm going to an old man rant because I used to be young, so I need to recognize that. I was going to go into a rant as to these guys are out. You're talking about your receiver that got a speeding ticket at 3:00 in the morning, and he got camped the next day.
Going 113 miles an hour.
Like, what are you doing? We got to be a little bit responsible here. What are you out at 3 a.m. for, and you got work the next day?
Yeah, but we, like you said, we were young once upon a time, but we weren't making that type of bread.
I wasn't making that type of bread, and my job didn't consist of me having to go run around in the sun all goddamn day.
Hell no. Back in our time, you could have a hangover and make it work. You be good around 1 o'clock.
Yeah, you work in the air conditioning inside. You work outside, running around and shit.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So for this division, you got to win it. You already said it. You got y'all winning the division. I got the Saints winning. If you give me a bold prediction, I think I already said it. Dirk Court, I think he'll be fired by the end of the season.
Yeah, that's.
I don't really think that's bold.
That's not even really bold. I tell you, bold, man. Atlanta goes on that 2016 run and just ball. I can see it happening.
Yeah, I mean they still got talent. Like I say, people are sleeping. They still got talent. Huh?
What's their first 6?
Falcons. Let's see.
I want to say they play Philly game 1 on Thursday.
That first Thursday, and then after that they have y'all. Then they got the Saints. Then they have Cincinnati. Now they got all 3 of those games at home.
I mean,
and then after that they go to Pittsburgh. Then they have Tampa Bay at home, and they have the Giants at home. We're gonna find out a lot.
Would Jameis be back by then?
Jameis is suspended. He's only suspended. What, 3 games?
Was it 4? I think it's 3.
It's 3 or 4. Yeah, so he'll be back.
Okay, and Jameis plays well against them.
He plays them hard, and they play well when they come here, and the game is here. That could very well be a trap game. Wow, and this is. Falcons have to, looking at the schedule the way it lines up, those first 7 weeks, they only got 2 road games. 5 of those games are at home.
So they mean they got to go hard the rest of the season.
So the rest of the season, yeah, they got a lot of road games. And let's see the places that they have to go, though. That makes a difference. Going to Washington, going to Cleveland. We don't know what Cleveland's going to look like by November.
We don't know.
It could be tough. Who knows? They got to go to the Saints, so we know that. They got to go to Green Bay. And then they end the season coming to y'all. And then
that Green Bay game, that's like November, December,
right? December, yeah.
It's going to be snow. So, speaking of Cleveland, we haven't been on since last week. Shout out to that boy Flash Gordon. He's back. Smart move, young man. Stay away from them hard knocks cameras. You got 1 more week of that bullshit, and it's back to the season.
Yeah.
But I guess my bold prediction was Atlanta balling. I mean, they got the ultimate motivation. Player that needs to step up, Cam Newton, 64%. You need it. You got to get it. You can't be throwing them high ass balls. Can't be throwing them. He had, I want to say, 16 picks last year. That's unacceptable. And I know about five of them was tip balls, but regardless, it's unacceptable. Need better.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, people, that concludes our breakdown of the final divisions. We've covered every division. Go back and check out episodes. Probably this was episode 121. Go back to probably episode 117 and up. You'll find our division breakdowns, your favorite division. Go back and listen to those episodes on iTunes, on Spreaker. Watch our ugly ass faces on YouTube. Talk about it if you just want to look at us. So that's a wrap on the NFC West and the NFC South. Should be 2 pretty good and interesting, entertaining divisions in football, especially that NFC South. Uncle Hate, tell these people where to reach you at on social media.
At Rike6000, holla at me. I talk sports. We got the AA Sports Fantasy Draft next week. I'm carrying that flag, and I got to bring it home.
All right, good deal. So people, thanks again for everybody who has signed up for that, going for that trophy. Of course, we had the trophy last year, the champ Driscoll Ferrari. So I'm pretty sure he's coming back to defend his title, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so good deal. We got some good things going there. All right. And again, remember, always reach us at the AA Sportscast Twitter page, IG page, Facebook page, Twitter page, all the pages, all the platforms. We there. And you can find my face and self at Diego Barish on Twitter as well. So for Uncle Hate, for your boy Diego Barishnikov, baby, it's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. We up out of here. We'll holler at y'all next week. Y'all be easy. Peace.